Easy. Blessings. Excuse me 1 minute. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Hey, Saray, a long time no see. Good seeing you. Can't start without that drink. My hair's trying to give me a fit tonight. Didn't realize I was looking like a crazy woman. That's better. Pray all is well. How are? Love you too. We are really not going to be on long tonight at all because I'm in the middle of a project. But we did not want to come on because we're doing better with what? That great word, consistency. Doing better with consistency. And our last few conversations have been pretty good. Thank you guys for always interacting. We want that to continue. We've been talking about, hey down, over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about mental health and us, how we're sitting around people, working around people, dancing around people, shouting around people, and we have mental issues. And we don't like letting that be known. So on tonight, hey T, on tonight, the conversation continues, but just from a different perspective. So about 3 weeks ago or so, like I said, we were talking about mental illness and me, which means my world. So my world, my personal world consists of church, home, family. And so we were talking about mental health and me and how important it is not to be ashamed of anything that's wrong with us, any flaws that we have, and coming into the knowledge that um, depression is a mental illness. It is. A lot of people would rather say depression than say I suffer from mental illnesses or mental issues, because it sounds more politically correct just to say, I suffer from depression, because there's different types of depression. You got social, that's social anxiety. You have mild depression. You have severe depression. You have manic depression, bipolar depression. You have so many different types of depression. And so it affects you in different ways. And there are people who are around us every day and they have no clue that that's what's wrong with us. The problem that I was discussing on last week was being able to have these issues and sit in the church and no one know. Um, my um, my prayer and my desire for the church to go back to being the hospital that it used to be referenced to when we were coming up. You know, they said the church was the hospital. Sorry, y'all. Something's going wrong. Go to church. Take it to the Lord. Go to the altar. You can't tell anybody else. Bring it to the altar. Leave it there. Give it to the Father. He knows you. He's waiting there for you. He'll have an answer for you. Jesus will fix it. And if you were like me, during those, for those of you who are up in age like I am, you know, you wanted a little bit more. You didn't want them to keep on telling you that Jesus was going to fix it or that you had to come to church and get on the altar in order for you to get an answer. I just, you know, wanted somebody to give me some real life suggestions on how things could become better. I wanted somebody at one point to just be sensitive enough to see that I was going through and that I was, you know, losing it, that I was dying in silence, that I was suffering in silence, and just wanted somebody to really be able to pick that up without me having to say anything, because we weren't allowed to talk about it. We weren't allowed to tell our business. We weren't allowed to share those kinds of things. And so we wanted somebody who was around us to be sensitive enough to pick up that there was something wrong so that they could just start talking to us, you know, out of nowhere. Because, well, back then it was easier to believe than now, I guess, that if somebody came to the church, say a prophet came to the church and they started telling you about yourself, it was more possible for you to believe it back then because everybody knew you couldn't tell nothing. Your parents didn't let you tell nothing. You knew not to tell nobody. You ain't tell a teacher. You ain't tell anybody. But in today's time, because so much of that, so much trust and honesty has been violated, that we just don't know. It's not even safe sometimes to tell those in the church because they're the ones who are trying to expose you. Those are the ones who are trying to hold something over you to keep you in their palm of their hand to do what they want you to do. And so, yeah, so we were talking about that. And so today, you know, when I was trying to consider uh, what would we talk about today, whether it be at length or brief, uh, am I really okay? You know, if some of us, you know, are so used to saying I'm okay, or so used to saying all is well, my story. Um, I just started saying all will be well, um, but they get so used to saying that they almost believe it and they forget about the fact that there's something that needs to be dealt with. So, am I really okay? You know, that's a question that um, some of us have to ask ourselves. Nobody else has to ask us that. Some of us have to ask ourselves because we've been so used to making people believe that we're okay that we start to believe it ourselves, even though we know what we just left, or we know what we get ready to go into, or we know the situations that we're in and how it's overwhelming and it's taking us almost into depression or anxiety. Some people have panic attacks. There are different things that people go through while they are trying to manage life on a daily basis. And so, am I really okay? No, but I'm gonna be all right. That's what I tell people now. I'm not okay, but I'm gonna be all right. You want to be able to be truthful about where you are without giving everything about you. Does that make sense? Um, because some people ask you, but they're not really staying around for the answer. Oh, how you doing? And they still moving. They never stop to see what your answer was going to be if you needed their attention or anything. They just so used to asking that question that they no longer wait for the answer. And so, am I really okay? Like, that's a real question. Am I really okay? Am I really feeling whole at this moment? Am I really feeling like I'm at my best? Do I really feel like I have things under control? Do I really feel like my mind is at peace? Do I really feel like I can get through this? Do I really feel like the struggle is almost over? Do I really? Do I really? So you can't answer that question until you really are honest enough to answer the question about, am I really okay? And because, again, the way some of us were raised. We just so used to it that we good with it. I'm good. It's all good. I'm cool. Oh, I'm all right. Those are everyday answers that we give people when they're asking us if we are okay, or when they say how you doing when we come to church. Hey, sister so and so, how you doing? Love you. And you go on and you make sure that you don't stay around long enough, because there's a flip side to the coin. Some of us don't stay around long enough or look at anybody in the eye because we don't want them to pick up that we really are not okay. And then there are those of us who ask the question, are you okay, or how are you? And never wait for the answer because we're afraid that we might have to do something about it. And so um, we have a real situation on our hands when it comes to us, our daily lives, people that we deal with, interact with, whether it be work, church, family. Um, it's just something that we are really um, having to deal with. We don't want to, but we need to. Um, there's no need. There's really no excuse for people dying in our presence. Uh, God has given to each of us a measure of discernment. It's in the Word. Go look for it. It's there. To each of us, He's given a measure of discernment. And so, what we can do is ask God to sharpen our discernment. So, or we can say, God, make me more sensitive to those who are around me. Some of us can handle that, and some of us can't. My bestie gets on me all the time because I have a bad habit, a very bad habit of taking on people's situations. If I'm asking you if something's wrong and God give it to me, and I go in prayer, I pretty much take on literally what you're going through and I respond. I'm either hollering or crying or booing, and it just takes so much strength. And often my bestie says to me, stop, you told me not to do it. So now I need you not to do it. I need you to pray for somebody without taking on their full burden. And it's kind of hard. Um, and sometimes it's just I want people to be free and I want them to be at peace, and I am willing to take on that suffering. And it's not always my job to do that. It's really not always my job, even though I feel that it is. The fact that the matter is, it's just not always. Sometimes that's not my portion of the assignment. I may have been selected to participate in their healing, but it does not necessarily mean that I have to take it all on myself. And so that is something that I am actively seeking God about, because once I get in there and I see what's wrong, I'm really going to God and trying to take your burden to the Father so that you can be at peace, so that you can relax. I want you to be able to truthfully say, when somebody asks you if everything is all right, you can say, yes, I'm okay. It is a wonderful thing to be able to say that, mean it, and not have to wonder, I hope I convince them, or I hope they don't ask me nothing else, because then I'm gonna have to tell them the truth. I found myself there, you know, um, hoping that somebody didn't come back and redirect from the conversation, because then it would put me in a situation where I have to really, show how I feel. And sometimes, more than not, more than not, people can't handle all that I deal with, because I have physical ailments, and then I have social things that I deal with, and then I have the world. When I say the world, that is my world: church, my family, my children, the ministry. They are people that God has entrusted us with, and so we have that assignment, and we can't just look back or turn away or give it up, because the Bible talks about the man who put his hand to the plow and look back. It says we're unfit. And I don't ever want to be considered unfit when it comes to God and his people. I just don't want to be that. I may not be able to do all things for all people, but I would at least like to know that I've had some part in their recovery, some part in them becoming whole again, some part in them seeing another way of looking at the situation that they're in. I love people. I love God's people, and I love hard. I don't know how to do anything else. My mother used to always say, you love people and you trust people to a fault. And guilty is charged, because I believe that until somebody shows you that it's something different, that your job is to love them. The Bible even says that we're to love our neighbor as ourselves. So therefore, we can't afford to be treating them any old kind of way, because that means that's what we're doing to ourselves. And so I take that to heart. I don't take that lightly at all. And my bestie and I, we, you know, found ourselves in so many similar situations, and our desire to just make people happy and to see people at peace, and to make sure that we are not hurting people the way we've been hurt. We like to consider ourselves that exception. We don't hurt people just because we've been hurt. I know they say hurt people, but not all hurt people hurt other people, at least not intentionally. Most of them, if they're like us, spend a lot of time trying to make sure we don't do to others what's been done to us. And so therefore, that's where we get hurt a lot, because we give chances to people that, excuse me, those who are around us, sometimes our siblings, sometimes our armor bearers, say to us, you need to watch them. I need you to back up a little bit. And we're like, oh, it's going to be all right. And you get devastated by that blow, because you just never expected it to come from that person, because you were doing everything you could to make sure that that person was all right. And so now when you ask me, are you really okay? Are you really okay? I have to really think about that sometimes, because I don't want to give false information. Yes, I know that we are supposed to call things that are not as though they were. I know. We get to do that. And I know that we serve the God of impossibilities. I know that He makes all things well. I get it. He also said we could speak to the mountain and move it, and it would be moved. He told us so many things to let us know that we have this power within us to do what needs to be done. But sometimes it's just not manifested, guys. Let's just tell the truth. It's you're in church, and the prophet might call you out, and they're saying all of these great things about you that you have the potential for, or that you have a love for, or you have a gift to give the community. There's something that is specifically there for you, and you listening, and you like, they must not know who I am. They can't be talking about me, because if I had to tell them everything that I was dealing with, they probably would be sorry that they said that that was me. But the fact of the matter is, God usually chose those who just would never have been chosen if it were given another way. He didn't get anybody that had it all together. He didn't, and so when we ask that question, am I okay? Am I really okay? I had to say that recently. I'm not. I'm not okay. But I will be all right. I'm not okay. I'm not distraught. Um, I don't have any kind of suicidal thoughts. I just am not okay. There are some things that I would love to see go another way. There are some situations that I really need God to come right away. Um, there are some conversations that need to be had, and I need God's grace and wisdom as to how to deal with it. And so, yeah, I have different things that my mind is always going. Sometimes people say, "Oh, well, you act like you didn't even see me." Sometimes I don't, because I'm there, but my mind is somewhere else. It's always going. I'm always trying to figure out what's next, what I need to do next. How could I fix what was already done and messed up? Um, Realizing that we don't get time back once it's gone. Am I really okay? No. I'm grateful. I'm excited about God. Um, I I just love, and there is so much of that around me. So many people are finding their significant other, and they are tying the knot, and they're living life, and that really makes me happy. I love happiness. I love love. I love to see people get the happiness that they deserve, and so I'm always grateful for stuff like that. Um, but if I really um, needed to give a definite answer to that, yeah, it would be no, I'm not okay, but I will be all right. So I am working on a project. I told you guys I'm not staying on long tonight. It came on because of consistency. But I was looking up the word okay, and it says acceptance. It says satisfactory, but not exceptionally or especially good, in a satisfactory manner. So it gave me, some idea of, you know, uh, things are satisfactory right now, but they could be greater. That's basically what that is saying. Satisfactory, but not exceptionally good. Um, so I find things that will keep me happy and going. My sister is getting married in a couple of weeks, and we had the distinct pleasure of making her bouquets, and so we've been working on things, making these bridal bouquets, trying to make each one of them different. And so we find things like this that would allow our minds to be put at ease, where we're not as anxious, where we're not as frustrated. We find something that draws our attention away from the noise and bring you into a space of peace. And you have to decide that I refuse to let anyone get inside that area. This is my peace, and I'm not going to let anything that means it any harm go any further than that, because this peace is important to me. That is the reason why I can say I'm okay. That is the reason why I could say I'll be all right. There's a place that we all have. It's called personal space. And we have a right to determine who and what gets in that space. We have um, a duty to ourselves to do whatever is necessary to maintain that peace. Hey, Shay, to maintain that peace. It is our responsibility to ourselves to make sure that nothing and no one gets in the way of me being at peace within myself. I might not like things that are going on around me, but I will at least be at peace within myself. You understand what I'm saying? I hope so. You have to, when it comes to this question, am I really okay? Some of us so quickly, how you doing? I'm okay. It's natural. It just comes out without you even thinking. And we have to get to a place where that is a real statement. And so, in order to do that, we have to find what's going to keep us in our peace, even if we should have to step outside of this box of personal space, even if we had to step outside of that box. What is it that we would need to do to make sure that we maintain the peace of our attempt to be okay? And that's a real question. It's something that a lot of us have to think about, because until somebody asks you this kind of question, you be like, man, I never thought about it like that. I never really considered what I would need for that. I'm just so used to not having it and saying that I'm okay that I don't even know how to go about getting this peace that I so desire. Um, and even some of us who feel like we're at peace and our world is so chaotic. How do you find peace in the midst of chaos? How do you find peace in the midst of chaos? I'm telling you, it's a hard thing, but you can do it. I promise you. Tanasia says, we're so used to saying that we've become comfortable with just being okay and not being honest about where we are. I'm telling you, it's so true. When we go to church, next time you go to church, just pay attention. We come to church and we greet somebody, hey, how you doing? And I'm good. And you just go on to the next person. You don't, for hang around to see if that person is really okay. You're just satisfied with them saying, I'm good. Or you just moving so fast. I don't even want to stay long enough. Let me just tell her I'm good because she always reading me or she always picking me up in the bed. I don't want that today. I just need, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. There are times that we all feel like this. And we have to get to that place where we're honest with ourselves. Shay says, my answer is always I'm okay, even when I'm not. You really do, even though we know better. Um, but there are those like Shay who well, I don't want to be a burden, or I'll just deal with it. And we don't always have to go through stuff by ourselves. Sometimes we can allow people to be there for us. Sometimes we can um, allow people to be there for us. But now here's the kicker to that. Sometimes allowing people to be there for us means that we have to hear things we don't want to hear. Somebody who truly's got your back, somebody who truly loves you, somebody who really has the best interest for you is not going to always tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear so that you can be in another place the next time they ask you. And that is the reason why you trust people, or at least trust the people that you do, is because you believe that they're going to say what you need. You believe that they're going to be there for you, that they're going to do something that you need. And so in order for that to happen, you have to be willing to hear the most uncomfortable statements and the most uncomfortable suggestions and responses. And I know sometimes for me, my bestie and I say, go through that with each other. Sometimes it's like, I needed my bestie right there. I didn't need the apostle, or I needed the apostle that time. I ain't need my bestie because I know my bestie going to tell me da 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 da, but I know the apostle is going to do this. And sometimes, when you're talking to people, you tend to say, like our kids, be like, I don't want the apostle today. I want mommy. So often they say that because they want you to know that there's something that they really need you to see or hear. There's really something that they need you to pay attention to. And we want to be able to do that. So I want us to get back to that place. I'll keep on saying it because my world consists predominantly of church. I do have balance, but it consists predominantly of church. Why? Because I love it. I have always loved church. I have no problem with being in church. I could just go to church and be good. Tired and all, I'm going to go to the next service because I just love church. It gives me a sense of peace. It gives me a sense of belonging. It gives me a sense of love. It's something that I'm not saying that I don't get it at all. So don't misread me. What I'm saying is that's what I find in church, all of those things. And so therefore, when I'm there, I can say to you, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good. Like, because it's me and God. That's what I see when I go to church. Me and God, because I need him in such a bad way for so many things that I haven't had time to do anything else. I laugh here and there, but for the most part, I need God desperately. And so church is just it for me. Prayer, I pray in my room because of different reasons. I'm in my room, so I pray in my room. Um, I can hear my bestie when she's in her prayer room. So glad that she's able to get that. She's been wanting it for so long. Because for some, like my bestie, prayer is her lifeline. Like it's just what she needs to get her day going, and it's what she needs to close her night down. She is just that person. Prayer is really her life. She's really off kilter if she doesn't have that time of prayer. Me, I'd be like, yes, I pray, but goodness, bestie, I don't know if I'll ever be as long as my bestie is in prayer. She can pray forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Hey, Kendra. Um, but in order for us to really be okay with ourselves, we really have to get to a place of honesty with ourselves. Tell the truth about you. Tell the truth about you. And when I say tell the truth, I'm not talking about to other people. I'm talking about even to yourself. Be truthful about yourself. Now, if you got 6 people telling you, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and only one person, and that person be you, feels another way, chances are all of those people that saying, oh my God, somewhere in between there is a real truth about who you are or how you act or how you responded. And so you have to be able to tell the truth about you. None of us are perfect. That's why we're still here, because we all have issues yet that we need solved by God. We have not reached that perfected state. We are striving every day to be more perfect in our love toward Him. But as a being, we are not perfect. And so we all got issues. And so we have to be able to say, I love me, flaws and all. As my cousin Shaton would say, flaws and all. I love me, flaws and all. And I could not always say that. I did not always say that, nor did I always believe that. And now that I've come to this place, it's very hard for somebody to sway me otherwise, because I've gained confidence over the years because of my relationship with God, because of having somebody who loved as hard as I did. I never thought it was possible, but my bestie, man, her heart is just so pure when it comes to people. And so she's taught me a lot. She's softened me in some ways, because she just felt like I was just too staunch. I was too hard. People were afraid to approach me. And it was basically a defense mechanism. After you've been hurt or betrayed or abandoned so many times, it's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not, I'm not even here for that. So it's like I have this defense mechanism that says, okay, how long this going to be, or what's going to happen next. So you want to be able to, what is Shay saying? You want to be able to be real about who you are. Shay says, I'm the same way, even growing up. If I had a choice to go to a party, church, I would pick. I'm telling you, I really, I just love church. I love gospel singing, gospel music. I love church. I love to see people rejoice. Sometimes I get a kick out of it. We used to laugh at our aunties and uncles because of the different ways that they shouted. Um, but church was also the place where I received a lot of hurt. Um, and so you have to um, eventually get to the place where you don't blame everybody else for what somebody else did. And so therefore, yes, that happened. It's not that we don't care. It's not that we're trying to say it doesn't matter. But what we're saying is, don't let it cripple you. Don't let it take you down. If there's, because some things that people are saying, some of it is true and some of it is not. Nevertheless, I'm a firm believer. I teach, I live by, I preach it. Don't try to defend a lie, outlive it. You'll spend more energy trying to defend it than you would just outliving it. People are going to believe what they want to believe no matter what. It is a known fact that people would rather believe a lie than the truth. It's been going on since the days of the Bible. So there is nothing new now. And so what you have to learn about yourself is that, yes, I did that, or yes, that happened to me, and it wasn't of any fault of my own. We be able to like go through different things that have happened in our lives, and we can analyze that and from that learn so that we can better the person that we are now. There are some people that no matter what you say to them concerning themselves, they just will not accept that it's anything other than what they are portraying. And so therefore you find yourself in a place ultimately of being alone, and that could lead to other issues. And so we don't want to find ourselves there. We really want to be able to say, I'm okay, and mean it. We want to be able to say, as the definition says, it's just satisfactory. It's not exceptionally good. I want to get to the place where I'm not just satisfied and saying it's okay. I want to be an exceptional place. I want to be in an exceptional place of happiness and peace. I want to be in a place where it won't just take somebody stepping on my foot, rolling their eyes, or me overhearing a conversation to have me flip out. You know, I can look at you, I can laugh, and I can still love you, knowing that you don't mean me any good, but I can still say I'm responsible for how I treat God's people. Who's God's people? Everybody that's created, because if it wasn't for him, you would not be. So therefore, we have to be mindful how we treat people, and especially how we treat them at their time of go through. We have to be mindful how we handle our brothers and our sisters at their time of lowness, at their season of Lodabar. And we have to be careful how we handle them when they're at their lowest. God is watching how we handle them at that moment. Not that he isn't already watching, but he pays very close attention to how we handle people who already are having a hard time. And so, I try to do better, even with people, these homeless people. At least I would like to believe they're homeless. Bless you. I would like to believe that they're homeless because their sign says they are. But I would give money, and sometimes I would pick people up that I didn't know, and that's something my Aunt Mary used to do. That people, she sees somebody look like they stranded, take them in the car. We used to say, "Aunt Mary, rather." And here I go. I started doing that same thing. My bestie was like, "What are you doing?" And before times pre pandemic, this is something I did post. Yeah, no. I'm still giving away money when I have it, because if that were me, I would wish and I would hope and I would pray that somebody would have that mercy upon me and give me something that would help me survive for the next few minutes. So I'm very careful about that. Um, but if I really had to, if somebody were to be sitting down and interviewing me right now, and if they had asked a question, would you say that you're okay or that you're all right? Um, I would say that I'm going to be all right. I have to be honest. I'm transparent. I would have to say I'm going to be all right. There are certain things that I need, that I feel. Hear me again, because God's probably laughing at me. There are certain things that I feel need to happen in order for me to be okay. When the Bible does say, whatever state you find yourself in, learn to be content. I don't be trying to hear that at moments when I feel I need God to answer right away. I need him to change the situation. I need him, to show up like never before. When those times come, yeah, I'm not trying to find myself content. That's just the truth. Um, and so I want to get to that place. I live every day hoping that I'm pleasing the Father, because I can't please you and not please him. That's the goal. I don't want to do more to please you than I try to do to please him. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Um, so sometimes I'm still getting used to it, because I'm guilty. I always say all is well. I don't care who asks me, when they ask me. I always used to say all is well, and I would be in crazy pain, and I'm still saying all is well. And it was because, and it is because, I really do believe that. I believe that in its due time, when that time shall come, um, that all will be well. I'm looking forward to that day. It has been prophesied and spoken several times, and I don't take God's prophets lightly when they have a word. And so I say God, and I give him back the words of his prophet, even if they're not living the life that they're supposed to. If they spoke it as a prophet, God will honor. So I try to make sure, even when it comes to myself, when ministering to others, God, I don't want to be in the way of them getting what they need. So look past me and do for them what they need, is my prayer anytime that we're ministering to somebody. And so I just think it's important that we do that. I don't know. So, not to be rambling on, we've been on here for a minute, but I really wanted to. I've been saying a lot tonight. I've been paying attention. I've been trying to become as consistent as I was in the beginnings. We were here without fail every week, no matter what was going on. We still made time to come on and do Loving the Me I See. Uh, there are certain things that we would like for people to feel. Uh, we would like them to feel better. We would like them to feel more positive about themselves. We would like for them to see themselves in a different light. We would like for them to be working in a place that gives them some type of satisfaction, wherein gratitude is accompanied with that. And when they go home at the end of the day, it's not frustrating, but it's, God, this was a great day, or God, what can I do tomorrow to make it better than today? These are real things and real conversations that I have had with God, especially when I was working with the autistic children, because you are their voice. And so you can't go in there acting all stank, coming to work first thing in the morning and you in the attitude and they already got to deal with whatever they deal with at home, with getting themselves together, then have ride a bus with all of these children, then come in the classroom and some people are speaking and you can't, and different things that you would like to do. You want to speak, but you can't get the words out. There were so many ways that I was blessed while working with autistic children. It just gave me such a great love for them, those who are autistic or those who have special needs, because they still need somebody to stand up for them. And I didn't mind doing that. And so I still do it now, just not for autistic children. I do it for everybody because I believe that sometimes you really need to hear what's not being said. When you're asking somebody how they are, you really need to hear what's not being said, um, to better deal with what's wrong. I love to do that. I love smiles. At the end of the day, when somebody says, you know what, I tried what you said and it worked. Thank you so much. To God be the glory. But I just love it because it means that I did something for somebody else, you know? So am I really okay? I'm better than I've been. I dare not complain because I do know that complaining doesn't change it. We have to ride it out. There are certain storms that God just will not remove us from. We're gonna have to ride it out. So I hope that's something we said today, tonight, this evening, about the truth of being okay versus all right, about being okay with the flaws in your life and understanding that you need to love you first before you can effectively love anybody else or allow anybody else to effectively love you. If you don't know what makes you happy, you can't tell somebody how to make you happy. And for them to have to guess what it is that makes you happy puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on the person. So, am I really okay? Not at the moment, but I do know that it will be all right. And I trust God for that. I believe that He's going to do what He says. Does it get tiresome? Yes. Do we get weary? Yes. But we never forget the fact that He is able. And even if He decides that at this particular time He's not going to do it, I got history with Him. So I know He's done it before. So I guess this would have to be one of those moments when He said, nope, you got to suffer through it. Finding another way to look at things helps you as well. Sometimes trying to find a positive note in the midst of all this chaos would take you a long way. You would be surprised. So I just want to say to you as we close for tonight, make sure that you're really okay. And how do I know if I'm really okay? Only you know that because each of us are individual. How would I know? I would have to ask myself questions like, um, did you accomplish everything that you wanted to accomplish today? Is your pain level any better today than it was yesterday? Do you have a good perspective on what's ahead of you? Are you ready for what's to come? Are you satisfied with yourself as is? Or do you feel you need help? Do you feel you need work? Um, These are questions you can ask you about you, because nobody knows you better than you and God, or God and you, because you see you when nobody else does. So what is it that I could do when I'm at those times by myself, when the mirror is the only friend I have? How can I make sure I'm okay? Do I need to talk positively to myself? Did I make sure I prayed concerning myself and others? What is it that I'm doing to improve upon myself that would make me feel good about who I am? I may not have accomplished everything that I wanted to, but I did this and I did that. Sometimes you need to do that so you can let yourself know that it's all right. It's all right. We don't have to do great things every day, but every day is a great day. So I just wanted to encourage you on today to investigate yourself. Investigate yourself and find out if you really believe that you're okay. And, or if you find that you're not, and you can finally acknowledge it by saying it out loud, maybe you can write down why you're not okay. Put it in a book. Because one day you'll be able to go and look at that book and say, man, look how far I've come. So, love you guys. Thank you for always jumping on. For all of you who came on and stayed on, those of you who came on and closed out but still looked, we thank you, thank you, thank you. We say it every week and we mean it from the depths of our soul. We really do, whether you're actively on here participating or whether you're just watching us. We thank you for loving us enough or believing in what we say enough to come each week and be here with us. Thank you to our normal listeners who, or I should say, our conversationalists who always participate, Tanasia and Shay. Thank you, Dom, for signing on. We just appreciate uh, all of you. Thank you, Kendra, and thank you to those. I didn't get to see all of the names that came on the other page, but we thank you for joining us tonight. To Saraya, to Pastor Tracy, to Ashley, thank you. Some of y'all were on my personal page, so I didn't get to see you over here. Um, but we love you, and we pray that the rest of this week is wonderful for you. Dress appropriate. Always take an umbrella. Rain is definitely in the forecast for the weekend, so make sure you have it with you. My prayer is that it won't rain as hard, that we'll have those little drizzles, every now and then, just to let us know that moisture is in the air. Nevertheless, you guys have a great night knowing that we love you. My bestie is working on something right now, so she's not on with us tonight. But she loves you. She prays for you just like I do. We believe in you, and we want you to believe in yourself. So until the next time. Oh, for those of you who are in the Newark area, this Saturday, yes. This Saturday at 6 o'clock, my bestie is releasing her And the Two Became One journal, her marriage journal. It's for married couples, it's for engaged couples, it's for those seeking to be married. She's going to have 5 couples as panelists that go from the lowest to the highest points in marriage, showing you what you can do to get here, what you need to do to stay here, and what to do when it looks like it won't. Hey, daughter. So join us this Saturday at 5-7 Halstead Street in the city of Newark, New Jersey. Sunlight Baptist Church is the venue. My bestie will be presenting her book, her manual, her journal, and the two became one. We have our spiritual dad, Apostle Ken Moses, and his wife, Apostle Adelicia Moses. They will be with us. Overseer Demetria Hubbard and her husband, my niece, and the pastor of Resurrection, her and her husband, Raheem, will be there. Looks like I'm forgetting Elder Lawrence and Elder-elect Lawrence. Lady Lawrence will be These panelists, they are going to be on there and they're going to be answering your questions. So come and meet us 6 o'clock at 5-7 Halstead Street, right in the city of Newark. It is right up South Orange Avenue, just before, it's just after Stuyvesant, but on your right hand side. So therefore, it's a one-way street coming out to South Orange Avenue. So you're gonna have to go around the block. But meet us there this Saturday as my bestie launches her marriage journal, and the two became one. Again, thank you all who came on and stayed on with us tonight. Meet us again. You know, some men, they say we always doing something for the women. We always having these conferences. Well, overseer Damian Armour is going to be having a conference called Men Hurt Too. Men Hurt Too. That's going to be December 15th through the 17th in the great city of Newark, New Jersey. So if you know some men who have been going through, some men who have suffered through some things, marriage, divorce, separation, abandonment, anger, I mean, just bring it. It's going to be good. We have some wonderful men who will be there to minister on Friday night. It would be Bishop Woodall on Saturday at 6 o'clock. Overseer Armour will be hosting or facilitating a panel. I don't know who his panel consists of, but he told me he's working on it. And then Sunday, Elder Alan Lawrence will be closing us out at the 4 o'clock hour. So I'm excited about that. So mark your calendars for December 15th through the 17th. Men Hurt Too. You can also join us November, I believe it's 17, 18, 19 for our fellowship weekend in the city of Newark as well. We do have Overseer Quentin Williford on Friday night. We have, we have Overseer Cornell DeBose on Friday night. We have Overseer Quentin Williford on that Saturday. And I believe our Apostle Michael Pullier will be closing us out on that Sunday. So meet us there, November. I probably should have looked since I'm telling you about it. I'll give you the right dates so you won't say October, November. I'm in December, that's why. November 17, 18, 19. Yep. November 17, 18, 19 in the city of Newark, New Jersey. We will be there. Come on and join us. We don't celebrate Halloween because of what it stands for. But those of you who are good with your history and your research, there is a day called All Saints Day, a day when we can celebrate all of the Christian martyrs of the Bible, those who went before us and paved the way. We will be having an All Saints Day celebration, and that All Saints Day is Thursday, November the 1st, and we will be celebrating Saturday, November the 4th. All right, we don't want it celebrated on the 31st because we're not having a Halloween party. We're not having a hallelujah party. We're not having any kind of party that has a connotation of sorcery and witchcraft. We will be having an All Saints Day, and we're going to be, some people are going to be dressed up like the saints of old. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be our first time doing this, so I'm excited about it. So if that's you, come on and be a part of it. So I think that I've said everything that needs to be said. I've given those announcements, but the first and foremost, meet us Saturday as my bestie launches this manual, this pamphlet, this roadway. I'm telling you, she put her heart into this. And so we ask that you come and celebrate. You know somebody, a couple that might be going through, tell them to come. I'm telling you that one of these couples is going to minister to them, because you'll be surprised when you see what people went through to get the look that you see now. It was some hard work and some difficult times. And so we want you to come and be blessed. This Saturday, the 14th, Newark, New Jersey, Sunlight Baptist Church is the venue, 5-7 Halstead Street, Newark, New Jersey, a block above Stuyvesant Avenue, and just before Sanford. You won't be sad. You'll be so glad you came. I'm telling you, they got something for you. I'm going because I want to learn. I want to glean. I've been married before 10 years, but I still believe that there's something else I can learn, or else I wouldn't be divorced today. So there's something that I feel like I can get from them. So meet us. You'll be glad you came. Until next time, I love you guys so much. Enjoy your night. Sweet rest.